LD Kalyani from Department of Business Management, Sabaragamu University of Sri Lanka. Her topic is the impact of grievance management on perceived job performance of shop floor employees in large-scale garment industry in Sri Lanka.
Professor Opatha, presenters, everybody, good morning. I am Kalyani from Sabaragamu University. My research topic, the impact of grievances management on perceived job performance of shop-floor employees in garment industry in Sri Lanka. Background of this study. We know garment industry is a very important industry in Sri Lanka. It contributes more for our economy. When we go to the first slide, we can identify how it contributes to our country. The value of the country's garment export amounted to $4,191 million in the year 2011. Furthermore, it represents 38% of the total export. Not only that, when we go to the contribution for the employment, more than 300,000 people engage in this industry. More than 800 factories are operated in Sri Lanka. Actually, the garment industry at present faces severe competition in the global market. To face this severe competition, they have to maintain few determinants. Those determinants are low cost, quality of the product, lead time, etc. To maintain these determinants within the organization, they have to maintain a good job performance of their employees. They have to highly use their physical resources and human resources. When we define the performance, simply we can define performance as an outcome of the workers. If not, the extent to which the employment is performing the job efficiently and effectively. According to various researchers, they define various ways. When we go to the empirical studies, empirically perceived job performance had been tested as a dependent variable with many independent variables. Those independent variables may be organization structure, organization culture, or leadership, or reward system, etc. Among those factors, grievance management plays a vital role to determine the employee's job performance. According to the various research studies, we can identify this situation. When we define the grievances means any dissatisfaction, complaint, irritation or misunderstanding that can be real or imaginary of the employees arising from his or her job relationship. There are many causes behind the grievances. Maybe wages or work environment or problem regarding health and safety or human aspect, organization aspect like that. The researcher is unable to study all those factors. Thus, researcher has selected three main factors through the exploratory study. The researcher has done by using the 30 shop floor employees at large-scale garment industry for this study. 6 key factors given: discipline administration, union management relationship, organizational aspect, information aspect, collective agreement, and human aspect, those factors. The results of this study. More than 70% of the sample has identified 3 factors as highly important. These 3 factors are organizational aspect, information aspect, and human aspect. Other factors also identified as important but not too much. Thus, the research problem investigates the extent to which organizational aspect, information aspect, and human aspect affect on the job performance of shop floor employees in large-scale garment industry. Objective of the study: to determine the impact of organizational aspect on job performance, to determine the impact of informational aspect on job performance, to determine the impact of human aspect on job performance, to determine which factor is mostly affect on the job performance. Furthermore, to give the suggestion to improve the grievance management system of large-scale garment factories. Research model for the mine study here highlight there are three independent variables. Those independent variables are organizational aspect, human aspect, and informational aspect. Dependent variable of this study perceived employees' job performance. Based on the model, develop the three hypotheses like that. Methodology for the study. Research design. The study is identified as a correlational study. Research setting and sample procedure selected 10 large-scale garment industries in the Western Province. Sample procedure, 237 employees were selected through the convenient sampling technique. Research instrument, the questionnaire with the total of 39 items were designed by the researcher based on the questionnaire of the previous research studies. For the data analysis as analytical tools, use the reliability analysis as a technique, use the cornerback alpha. For all the variables, cornerback alpha above 0.7. Further, bivariate analysis, use correlation, multivariate analysis, use regression model. For hypothesis analysis, use correlation and regression. Research and the discussion. When go through the analysis, the researcher could identify that there is a strong positive relationship between all the independent variables and dependent variables. When you go through one by one, the relationship of organization aspect with the job performance, correlation coefficient 0.801. The relationship between information and job performance correlation coefficient 0.605. Consider the human aspect and job performance relationship correlation coefficient 0.670. There is a strong positive relationship between these all independent variable and dependent variable. Thus, the proposed null hypothesis have rejected and all the hypotheses accepted. The present research findings of the grievance management are consistent with the arguments given by various researchers. Here, highlight who are those researchers. There is a negative relationship between increase in number of grievances and decline in the average productivity of the employee. The present research supported to this view. The finding of the human aspect empirically confirmed the arguments given by Rahman, Menager, and Shapario 2000. The researchers' research agree with this finding of Mameria 1991. He indicated that grievance management system may affect the employees' morale, productivity, and their willingness to cooperate with the organization. Furthermore, the simultaneous effect of the job performance, the researcher could identify that there is a positive relationship between all the independent variable and dependent variable. When input those independent variable to the regression model accepted only two variables. Those variables are organizational aspect and human aspect. When input the organizational aspect, R squared become 0.64. Then input the independent variable human aspect, it become a 0.86. But there is a positive relationship between information aspect and the job performance, but regression model reject it, it excludes. Conclusion. it was possible for three independent variables to account for 86% of the variation in the perceived job performance. The balance is there are so many other factors affect for the job performance. It may be reward or performance evaluation or organization culture like that. Hence, it predict only 86%. Direction for the further research. It was suggested that future studies look deeply into factors affecting on the perceived job performance. Furthermore, attention should be paid to compare the shop-floor employees and non-shop-floor employees. Perceived job performance in further study. Some researchers could done using the different indicator for the key variables. This could help to find out whether analysis is indicator dependent or not. Last question. The suggestion to improve the grievance management system of the large-scale garment industry. The grievance management system can be improved through better management practice. We should not wait until arise the grievances. Before that one, we have to take the action for it. Use a positive friendly ways to resolve the crisis than the punitive step. Always focus on the subject of grievances than allied issues. Listening and respond sensitively to any distress exhibited by the employee. Ensure the effective, sensitive and confidential communication between all the involved and consider all the relevant information in the investigation process. We know if we not pay attention about the one employee grievances, automatically it will become a group of employees grievances. Then what happened? It affects to the bad attitude for the management. Then if there is a bad attitude about the management, that means it badly affects to the continue their production process or service process. Thank you.
Now, one of your objectives is to identify the most important factor which may have impact on the performance. But in your presentation, that particular factor was not disclosed. What is the most important factor?
Considered all the factors.
Yes.
Through the exploratory study, I have selected only 3 factors.
Out of, you have taken only 3.
There are so many root cases behind those factors.
No, in your objective, now you have in your model, you have identified 3 independent variables.
Yeah.
And in your objective, I stated that to identify the cogent factor out of these 3 through your study. What was the cogent factor that was disclosed in your study? So it was not discussed in the...
Yeah.
Out of the 3, what was the cogent?
I try to identify the relationship between...
Okay, that's correct. I mean, by using maybe the, I think, have you done stepwise regression analysis?
Yeah.
Then you could have found out that the variable which had the highest impact on the variability of perceived job performance.
Beta values.
No. I mean, out of the 3, Professor Neville asked about the factor which had the highest impact on the variability of the perceived job performance. Because you have done a rigorous study.
Yeah.
You have done a rigorous study. We really appreciate. But because you put an objective relating to that, that's why then the question came. Because
now, effectiveness of any research is evaluated in terms of the degree to which you have achieved objectives. All other objectives have been achieved, but you have not answered that particular that objective.
Because it is one of the very important things, because it got a serious implication. Because if you know the the most dominant factor, then we can manipulate that. We can suggest.
Most important factor. Most important factor, identify as a
To determine which factor is mostly affect on. So that is one objective. Take the objectives. Next one, next slide. Second slide, next slide.
Maybe to help you, the human aspect, I think the RS 86.
yeah.
Then the organization aspect 0.64. Then maybe, I guess that the human aspect.
Yeah, organization and aspect.
Because the other aspect has
Yeah.
has not become a determinant from the regression analysis, even though it has a positive correlation from the correlation analysis.
Beta value should be taken. Take the beta value and select the highest beta value.
Yeah.
That beta value is the most cogent factor which may impact on the adjusted R. So that should be done. And even since we have taken 3 independent variables, that multi-correlability should be tested. Whether you have to see whether your independent variables are highly correlated. If your independent variables are highly correlated, introducing all the independent variables to the model is not making any sense.
Yeah,
Therefore,
because correct. I think I really agree with that's a very important consideration because you used the hypothetico-deductive approach. That is the hypothetico-deductive approach. So then you use the parametric test. So if you use parametric test in statistics, there are basically 3 assumptions which need to be met. One is this lack of multicorrelativity. So you could have tested that because if there is a problem of multicorrelativity and then your findings are not going to be valid, even though you suggest like this.
And again, to improve your study further.
Yes.
I know it.
Yes.
Yeah, to improve your study further, test the discriminant validity and the convergent validity and so on. So
Also all the 3, lack of multicorrelativity, then the normalcy assumption, and then the, what is the other one? There's another one also. One question. So anyone is there? Okay, one question regarding the perceive job performance.
Yeah.
So did you consider all the aspects like traits,
I
behaviors
consider
and
that, but
results?
dimension-wide traits, behavior and outcome, all the consider, but not go through the dimension-wise. Altogether cover the use 16 indicators to measure those things. Yeah, there is operationalization, sir. Yeah. Separate table.
Even we are interested, in knowing that, our government sector organizations, they give the priority to traits or they give the priority to behaviors or whether they give the priority to research. Because ideally we have to
analyze dimension-wise, thus I couldn't
Right,
identify that situation, sir. Why all other independent variables are not go to the dimension-wise. That's the reason I didn't use the dependent variable also dimension-wise. As a one variable, measure the thing.
One good thing is you had analyzed the inter-aspect reliability, but again you have not done relating to external aspect of reliability.
Yes, tested reliability and validity also.
Also you mentioned about the hypothesis analysis. No need to have the term hypothesis analysis. You have to have the hypothesis testing.
Thank you.
Okay, wish you all the best then. Okay, right.
Okay, thank you.